Alright, let's talk aliens. Not lights in the sky. A map. Betty and Barney Hill, 1961. They claimed they were taken aboard a craft in New Hampshire. Under hypnosis, Betty drew a strange star map. Dots, lines, trade routes, a cosmic subway. Here's the wild part. Years later, Marjorie Fish tried to decode it. She built 3D models of nearby stars, strings beads, hanging from her ceiling. Line up the model just right. The pattern snapped into place. Fish's best match? Zeta Reticuli, a binary star system about 39 light-years away. 2 suns, both sun-like. A quiet neighborhood. In the 1960s, that seemed like prime real estate for life. If trade routes were real, they connected Zeta to nearby suns. A map of local interstellar highways. So, did Betty Hill secretly sketch our cosmic backyard from an alien screen? Or did we see meaning in random dots? Let me break the skeptic's side down. First, selection bias. If you try enough angles, enough distances, you can make a lot of dots look like a match. Second, the data changed. The star catalogs in the 60s were missing accurate distances for many dim nearby stars. As astronomy improved, some of Fish's key alignments faded. Third, the map itself is ambiguous. No scale bar, no clear orientation, just dots and lines, but the believer side has its punch too. They ask, why did Betty draw sun-like stars near us? How did a New Hampshire social worker produce a pattern? A teacher years later could overlay on a real 3D star field. And what about Zeta Reticuli? 2 stable suns in a low-dust region with long-term stellar calm. Here's what I think. The map is a masterclass in human pattern finding. It's a Rorschach test for the cosmos. Rotation, scale, which stars to include, and yet. The story endures because it asks a delicious question. If someone did visit, what would their navigation look like? Modern astronomy lets me check this with better data. Gaia has pinned down distances and positions for over 1 billion stars. When researchers recreate the Hill map using today's nearby sun-like stars, the perfect match slips. It's close enough to intrigue, not close enough to convince. So, did aliens visit? The Betty Hill map doesn't prove it, but it does something just as powerful. It makes me look up and wonder. If a civilization did build trade routes, they'd almost certainly link sun-like stars with quiet neighborhoods. The same places we're now targeting with telescopes and radio listens. Your turn. Does the Zeta Reticuli match feel like coincidence? Or a clue? Tell me in the comments. If you love smart, weird mysteries like this, tap subscribe. And let's keep chasing the unknown, one dot and line at a time.
Quantum teleportation. In 3 minutes. Does it really exist? Does teleportation really exist? Short answer, yes. But not the sci-fi kind. I'm talking about quantum teleportation. Moving information, not matter. Myth busting first. No one is zapping your body across the room. No atoms vanish here and pop up there. And it does not break the speed of light. Okay, what is real? Quantum teleportation transfers the exact state of a tiny system, like a qubit, from one place to another. How? Entanglement. A normal message. Step 1. Create 2 entangled particles. Keep B far away. Keep A with the sender. Step 2. The sender performs a special joint measurement on A and the unknown qubit X. This destroys X locally, but imprints its recipe in the measurement result. Step 3. Send that result by ordinary communication. Text, fiber, radio. Step 4. The receiver uses that info to adjust B. Boom. B becomes an exact copy of X's state. Nothing material traveled. The state did. No faster than light trickery, because you still need that normal message. Does it work in real life? Yes. Physicists demonstrated it in 1997, across labs, under cities, from ground to satellite. In 2017, China's Mikius satellite teleported states over 1,200 kilometers. I want to challenge something you've heard 1,000 times. The Mandela effect is just bad memory. But what if it isn't only memory? What if my brain, and yours, is more like an antenna? Think about it. Radio tunes frequencies. Wi-Fi grabs packets. My brain It tunes patterns. When I remember Berenstain, am I retrieving a file or retuning to a version of events my mind once locked onto? Cognitive dissonance kicks in here. I know the cereal box had a hyphen, except it didn't. My certainty fights the evidence, and it feels like reality shifted under my feet. Memory is reconstructive, sure, but reconstruction still needs a blueprint. Where does that template come from? Brains are prediction engines. At every moment, mind forecasts the next letter, the next face, the next beat. It fills gaps with the most likely world. Here's the twist. Likelihood is context. Change the context, change the world I lock onto. Shift the tuning, and my inner antenna grabs a different station. You felt it. Walk into an old childhood room, same objects, different vibe. It's like swapping the lens on the same scene. Split-second perception shows it too. Look once. See a vase. Look again. Two faces. Same photons. New reality assembled. The Mandela effect might be this assembly process going meta. Not proof of parallel universes. Proof my brain can briefly sync with alternatives it finds plausible. Like an antenna catching overlapping stations, I hear two songs at once, and my memory pins the wrong chorus onto the right beat. Is that failure, or a superpower misfiring? Because if I can mistune, I can retune. Try this tonight. Pick a vivid Mandela example, close your eyes, recall it with ridiculous detail, texture, color, font. Then open the real version and calmly compare. No blame, just curiosity. Notice the point your certainty shifts. That's the tuning knob. Do it again tomorrow with a different memory. Song lyrics, logos, quotes. You're not deleting errors, you're training reception. Maybe the brain isn't a hard drive. Maybe it's a live broadcast engineer, mixing incoming signal with expectation. And exporting a world I can act in, so the Mandela effect. Less my memory is broken, more my antenna is powerful and sensitive. If that flips your mental switch, hit subscribe. Tell me your wildest Mandela moment in the comments, and what it felt like when your reality clicked. I'm reading every single one. What if I told you there are stars out there that suck the life out of other worlds? Vampires. Today, I'm counting down how many vampire stars haunt our galaxy, and how many planets they might have already eaten. Let's go. Number 5. What is a vampire star? It's a star that steals, and sometimes devours, material from a neighbor. Bloodsucker. Astronomers call them interacting binaries, cataclysmic variables, X-ray binaries. Number 4. Where are they hiding? Most live in close binary systems. Gas spirals off a companion into a hot glowing disk, lit up in X-rays. We've found thousands by their flickers, flares, X-ray bursts. Number 3. How many have we actually found? Catalogs like Gaia, Chandra, the Zwicky Transit Facility, have tagged tens of thousands of suspects. Confirmed. Some are white dwarfs siphoning gas. Some are neutron stars with insane magnets. Some are black holes straight up feeding. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Number 2. How many could there be in the Milky Way? Total. Latest population models suggest millions. For white dwarf vampires, estimates range from about 1 million up to a few million across the galaxy. Add neutron star and black hole X-ray binaries, and you're looking at several million feeders in total, most too quiet or dust hidden for us to notice. Yet. Number 1. Do they eat worlds? Yes, in a few wild ways. A star that swells into a red giant can swallow close-in planets. If that star has a compact companion, the companion can siphon gas from the swollen star, including any planetary material. We've seen dead stars polluted with the ashes of shattered planets. Metals, like iron, calcium, silicon. Some systems even show asteroids being torn apart into rings. Some show planets being torn apart into rings, then fed into the maw. Bonus, how do we catch them in the act? Watch for fast brightness changes. Listen for X-ray flashes, ultraviolet flashes. Track hot disks spinning at thousands of kilometers per second. Evidence. New surveys like LSST at Vera Rubin Observatory will find a flood of these feeders, maybe hundreds of thousands, by the end of the decade. So, how many vampire stars are there? Discovered. Tens of thousands. Likely out there. Several million across the Milky Way. Hungry. And yes, some of them have already eaten entire worlds. If you love space mysteries, hit subscribe right now. Drop a comment with your biggest question about vampire stars, and I'll pin the best one. And if this blew your mind, share it with a friend who thinks the universe is chill. I'm posting more deep space countdowns soon. Stick around. See you in the next one. Bye.
Forget free will. Forget being unique. The most controversial idea in biology is that you are not real. You are nothing but a machine built to serve a secret code. The code is in your DNA, known as the selfish gene. Your body, your thoughts, your drive to survive. It's all a tool. A temporary robot designed for one purpose, to copy and transmit the code. If the gene is the commander, who is the programmer? This theory reveals a chilling truth. Our existence is not about us. It's about a biological program installed by an unknown source. The code is running. The host is disposable. Think about fear, love, obsession. These aren't feelings. They are subroutines. Fear protects the gene. Love ensures reproduction. You are a drone, following pre-written instructions to serve the code. But the program is old, and it has glitches. Why do we self-destruct? Why do we do things that don't help the gene? These failures, suicide, addiction, are proof the code is breaking down. The system is unstable. This is why it's the most controversial idea. Because accepting it means accepting that everything you believe is controlled. The elites suppress this idea because it proves, if you can be programmed, you can be reprogrammed. The only way to achieve true freedom is to first admit you are a machine. By acknowledging the code, you can start to override the program. Break the loop. Start living for you, not for your genes. The gene has been exposed. The program is running out of time. Don't be a host, be a creator. Subscribe to Cryptos Code, and we will decode the final layer of your biological prison. What code do you want to break next? Comment below.
The secret of Roswell wasn't the crash itself, it was the message, and this code was successfully broken, only twice. In 1947, cryptographers arrived to study the only thing that didn't burn, a metallic tablet covered in bizarre hieroglyphs. It was an instruction manual, an instruction containing two things, a map of our universe and a single chilling warning. Today we reveal the final decoding. The first phase of the decoding took 40 years. It revealed a map, not of Earth, but of the stars. The symbols were a precise positioning system. They pointed directly to the home of the extraterrestrials, a location that perfectly matched the map later drawn by alien abductee Betty Hill. But the most shocking discovery, the map marked 4 other planets, besides their homeworld, all located in their system's habitable zone. Why were those 4 worlds marked so clearly? The second, and most difficult decoding phase took another 10 years, and it revealed the message itself. The message was simple, yet terrifying. Your experiment is dangerous. This wasn't a greeting, it was a direct warning about our new nuclear capabilities. That single sentence, recovered from the desert floor, explains why UFOs are still seen so frequently above our nuclear facilities. They are not merely observing us, they are attempting to control the weapons they warned us about, and our government has known this truth since 1947. Selbor. Officially, the US government now classifies this entire narrative as the Roswell hoax of 1947. But why would they spend millions to conceal a piece of metal if it was just a simple lie? The code has been decoded. Now you know the real secret the military was hiding. Subscribe to Cryptos Code 8888 to help us crack the next mystery. What code should we break next? Let us know in the comments. At dawn they brought it in. Coordinates mapped to Zeta Reticuli.
This information is restricted.
Your experiment is dangerous. They couldn't unmake what they had unleashed. Okay, real talk. Ever hear about artifacts so guarded you're told do not touch before you even see them? Beat. Today I'm counting down the top 3 secret artifacts people swear the Vatican is hiding. And what's this fact? Beat. Hit subscribe if you love a good mystery and drop a comment with the one you'd risk the laser alarms for. Beat. Number 3. The Shroud of Turin. Beat. Legend says it's the burial cloth of Jesus imprinted with a ghostly image. Beat. Myth. The Vatican keeps it locked away in a shadow vault. Beat. Fact. The shroud is in Turin, Italy, not in the Vatican. Beat. It's owned by the Holy See, but stored in a temperature-controlled case and shown rarely to protect it. Beat. Can you touch it? Absolutely not. Beat. Why? Because breath, light, and fingers destroy an ancient linen faster than a scandal on Twitter. Beat. Science has tested fibers, dates, and pollen. Debates still rage. Beat. Mystery status. Alive. Beat. Number 2. Relics of the True Cross. Beat. The claim. Splinters from the wood of the crucifixion, guarded in Rome for centuries. Beat. Myth. The Vatican hides a full cross in a secret room. Beat. Fact. There are small relics in churches like Santa Croce and Jerusalem in Rome and others around the world. Beat. You won't be handling them. They're sealed in reliquaries, often behind glass to prevent damage and yeah, souvenir hunters. B. Anji. Critics say there are too many pieces to be real. B. Anji. Historians answer. Many fragments are symbolic, documented over medieval centuries with varying authenticity. BG. So why the secrecy? It's less cover-up and more conservation. BD. Number 1. The Vatican Secret Archive, and the Chronovisor. BD. You've heard the rumor, a time viewing machine beneath St. Peter's showing Christ on the cross and Emperor's crowning. B-ite. Mythi. The Vatican invented a device called the Chronovisor and buried it. BD-8. Fact. There's zero credible evidence it exists. BD-8. The secret archive was renamed the Apostolic Archive. Secretum just meant private. Aljib Debi. Scholars can request access with credentials. Shabit. Permissions are limited, materials are fragile and strictly controlled. Shabit. And no, you still can't touch the originals. B. So why does do not touch matter? Because preservation beats curiosity. B. Whether it's faith, history, or folklore, these artifacts survive only if we respect the barriers. B. Which one do you think is most believable? The shroud, the true cross, or the chronovisor? Beat. Tell me in the comments, and if you want a part 2, say, unlock it. Beat. Subscribe for more myth vs. fact deep dives. Beat. And remember, look, don't touch, beat. Next, should we open the sealed tomb of Redacted? Hit the bell so you don't miss it. Beat. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep your hands off the glass. Beat. End screen. Which artifact would you touch if rules didn't exist? Drop your pick below. Beat. Okay, real talk. Are there actual diamond planets out there? And if yes, why would I ever fly to one? Here's the myth versus reality in 10 seconds. Myth. Space is full of giant golf balls made of pure diamond just waiting to make you rich. Reality. Some worlds might be loaded with carbon that could form diamond, but they're not literally sparkly gem balls you can mine like a video game. Let's break it down. There are 2 famous diamond cases. Number 1. 55 Cancri. Early on, some data suggested it could be carbon-rich, maybe diamond in the interior under insane pressure. But newer observations point to a volcanic, super-hot, probably silicate world. Translation: not a jewelry outlet. Number 2. PSR J 17-19-14-38b. It orbits a pulsar and might be the carbon-heavy core of a dead star's companion, crazy dense, potentially crystalline. That's the closest thing we've got to a diamond planet, but it's more like ultra-dense carbon crystal, not a cuttable gem. Also, fun twist, there's a diamond star, a white dwarf nicknamed Lucy. Its core is crystallized carbon and oxygen, not a planet, but definitely cosmic bling. So why do people think we can cash in? Because diamond on Earth is rare and expensive. But space economics laughs at that. Even if a planet had diamond layers, it's tens to thousands of light years away. You'd need a fusion drive. We don't have a mining system that works at thousands of degrees and a way to haul back millions of tons. Flood Earth with that much diamond and price crashes. You'd lose money faster than an ice cream in Death Valley. So, if not for treasure, why fly there? Reason 1. Science. Carbon-rich worlds would teach me what elements, what pressures, what weird chemistry. Reason 2. Materials. Understanding naturally formed super hard, high-pressure carbon phases could inspire new heat shields, drill bits, or quantum devices. Reason 3. Tech. A mission that far forces better propulsion, radiation protection, autonomous mining bots, long-life power. Reason 4. Perspective. Chasing a diamond planet is our generation's spice route, not for the spice, for the maps we make on the way. Here's the simple answer. Are there diamond planets? Possibly, in the carbon crystal under extreme pressure sense, not the ring store kind. Should I fly there to get rich? Nope. Should I dream about going anyway? Absolutely, because the journey upgrades everything we can do back home. If you love this myth versus reality breakdown, tap subscribe and drop a comment. What's the one wild space myth you want me to test next? And if you actually found a diamond planet, call me. Just kidding, kind of. I'm about to take you on a wild ride through one of the most famous UFO mysteries ever, Betty Hill's star map. Did aliens visit, or did we just connect dots that were never meant to line up? Quick backstory, in 1961, Betty and Barney Hill reported an abduction on a lonely New Hampshire road. Under hypnosis, Betty described a room on a craft and a star map shown to her. Here's where the map as proof angle kicks in. Marjorie Fish, a schoolteacher and amateur astronomer, tried to decode it. She built 3D models with beads and fishing line from star catalogs of sun-like stars. She spun the model until Betty's pattern lined up from a specific viewpoint. Her match: Zeta Reticuli, 2 sun-like stars about 39 light-years away. Betty's lines looked like trade routes between sun-like stars. Short lines equals nearby systems, long lines equals major routes. From near Zeta Reticuli, the layout aligned with Betty's drawing. Why people got excited. Betty's map predated catalogs identifying some of those sun-like stars. The pattern favored stars like ours, plausible hosts for life. The route suggested intentional travel, not random dots. But let's pressure test this. Pattern matching. With enough dots and viewpoints, you can force matches. Selection bias. Star catalogs changed over time. Moving goalposts. Any network of points can be stitched into routes after the fact. Still, restrict to sun-like stars within about 55 light-years. And the Zeta Reticuli alignment stays one of the best-known fits. Not perfect or bulletproof, but not trivial either. So, did aliens visit? I can't prove that. The map as proof claim was surprisingly sophisticated for the early 1960s. Either a huge cosmic coincidence or something deeply weird happened on that road. I want to hear from you. If Fish nails it, drop Zeta in the comments. If it's pattern hunting, type chance. Tell me one piece of data that would flip your opinion. If you like this deep dive, hit subscribe, smash that like, ring the bell, see you in the stars.
I'm going to say the scary part first. If life is common, something out there is wiping it out. That something is what scientists call the Great Filter. I'll break it down fast. The universe is old, full of stars older than our sun. If intelligent life emerges easily, galaxies should be buzzing with civilizations millions of years ahead of us. Where are they? That silence is the Fermi paradox, and the Great Filter is one brutal answer. There's a step from dead matter to star-spanning life that is so unlikely, or so deadly, almost nobody makes it through. So where is the filter? Option 1. It's behind us. Maybe abiogenesis, the jump from chemistry to the first cell, was a near miracle. Or maybe complex cells, big brains, language, stable civilization are freak accidents we already passed. If that's true, our silence is good news. We're rare, but the road ahead might be open. Option 2. It's ahead of us. Maybe most civilizations discover fossil fuels, nukes-engineered pathogens, runaway AI, and then self-destruct. Or perhaps cosmic threats, gamma bursts, rogue AI probes, or resource traps. Snuff them out before they go interstellar. If that's true, the silence is a warning. Which is scarier? It depends on what we find next. Microbes on Mars Europa or Enceladus. Bad news. That hints life emerges easily, pushing the filter toward our future. A whole biosphere elsewhere with complex organisms? Worse. But if we keep finding nothing, no life next door, no signals, no megastructures, that's comforting. It suggests early steps were insanely hard, and we're the lucky break. So what do I do with this? First, hedge the future. Reduce existential risks, secure biolabs, align AI, manage nukes, protect climate. Second, spread out. Multiple habitats, Moon Mars orbital, make civilization harder to wipe out. Third, listen and look. SETI exoplanet atmospheres techno-signatures. Every non-detection is a data point. Here's the twist. The Great Filter is terrifying, but it's also motivating. If it's behind us, we might be the only minds that get to understand the universe. If it's ahead, our choices right now decide whether consciousness keeps going. Either way, our century matters. If that lit a fire under you, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive, and drop a comment. Do you think the Great Filter is behind us or ahead? Why? I'm reading every take. And remember, silence isn't comfort. It's a question. Let's answer it.
If aliens are really trying to talk to us, they're not using English. Today, I'm breaking down the top 3 secret languages aliens could be using and the clues that make them plausible. Number 1, prime pulse. Math. Math is the same everywhere. If you're an alien and you want zero confusion, you send pure numbers. Think bursts of radio energy counting out prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7 or encoding P. Why primes? They're a universal signature, impossible to mistake for random noise. Humans have already tried this with the Arecibo message, packing a little picture into binary at the hydrogen frequency. Some strange signals, like the famous wow blip, got people talking, but nothing confirmed. Still, if a message ever repeats cleanly with structure, primes constant simple pictures, that's the doorbell. Number 2, chemseed code. Imagine a language that isn't spoken, it's grown. Aliens could encode information in molecules, minerals, DNA, like sequences. Then, let comets' dust carry it across star systems. We call this directed panspermia as a hypothesis, seeding life data. Why this works? Chemistry is universal. Molecular patterns can survive for ages. Think of strings that spell out prime gaps, golden ratios, universal amino acid maps. If we ever find a biological sequence that looks more like a zip file than evolution, that's not an accident. That's a hello. Humans have already encoded images, text and DNA in labs, so the technique is real, just not alien, yet. Number 3, neutrino or gravity Morse. Radio gets blocked, neutrinos don't care, they fly through entire planets with barely a whisper. Modulate the rate, dots and dashes, and you've got a cosmic telegraph. Or use gravity. Gravitational waves can carry patterns across galaxies. Timing chirps, spacing them, could spell out numbers, maps, or dates. Hard to send, harder to spoof. which makes a true signal stand out. So, prime pulse math, chemseed code, and neutrino or gravity Morse. If a pattern repeats, defies random, and survives the cosmos, we'll know. Subscribe for more mind-bending space intel. And drop a comment. Which code do you believe? Myth, our brains will become batteries for AI. Reality, energy flows the other way. Alright, let's unpack that. If you've heard about Neuralink or brain chip startups, you've probably wondered, will AI feed on our thoughts like a power bank? Short answer, no. Here's the deal. A brain-computer interface. BCI is basically a microphone for your neurons. A brain-computer interface. BCI is basically a keyboard for your neurons. It listens to electrical activity, translates it into data. Sometimes sends tiny signals back to help restore movement or senses. It doesn't sip volts from your brain. The chip has its own battery or induction charger. Myth, AI will harvest your mind for power. Reality, AI runs on data and electricity from servers, not your biology. The energy it wants is information, patterns in neuron spikes, not calories or volts. Myth, one chip equals instant superintelligence. Reality, today's implants have hundreds to thousands of electrodes. Your brain has about 86 billion neurons. That's like listening to a stadium through a handful of microphones. Useful? Yeah. Omniscient? Not even close. Myth, no privacy. Every thought is recorded. Reality, current BCIs capture very specific signals. Move a cursor, type a letter, feel a touch. It's not reading your childhood memories or secret crush, but data security matters. If it can be measured, it can be misused. Encryption isn't optional. Offline modes aren't optional. Patient control isn't optional. Myth, you'll be hacked and mind-controlled. Reality, wireless medical tech already uses strong security layers. Risk is never zero, but we can harden the stack. Firmware signing, local whitelists, physical safety limits. Myth, chips replace human agency. Reality, good BCIs are co-pilots. You set the intent, the system translates. Early users gain agency, texting, moving a cursor, even feeling touch again. So will our brains become batteries for AI? No. If anything, our brains are the pilots, and AI is the autocomplete. What should you watch for next? Safety data, over years, not months. How many electrodes? How stable? How much bandwidth? Who owns the neural data? You, the clinic, or the cloud? Open standards so you're not locked to one company for life. Here's the real future picture. Short term, speech for people who can't speak. Short term, control for those who can't move. Mid-term, faster typing. Mid-term, haptic feedback. Mid-term, maybe seamless or controls. Long-term, ethics and rights. Neural privacy, consent, and portability. Powering AI with your brain, not the game. Empowering you with better interfaces, that's the play. If this cleared up a myth or two, tap subscribe. Drop a comment. What's your biggest BCI fear or hope? I'll pin the most thoughtful take. Share this with someone who thinks Skynet runs on brain juice. See you in the next one.